You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Welcome back to the Nerds Podcast and happy November to everyone. A huge shout out to the Lakeshore community for supporting us. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button and the bell to be notified when we drop new episodes and our very popular shorts all of a sudden. Pete is here with me, and we're here to break down and deliberate episode 2 of Welcome to Derry, labeled The Thing in the Dark. Pete, episode 1 lived up to its hype. I think we both agreed to that, but did you think that episode 2 kept up the pace?
Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. It actually maybe ramped it up a little bit more with two of the scenes that the kids had. Whether they're nightmares, hallucinations, I don't know. But I got to give props to the director who actually, like I said before, directed the Flash movie, which wasn't well received. But of course, it seems like his genre is more horror. He's supposed to be directing the Batman movie that's part of the DCU. But kind of wish he was directing Clayface. He's not Batman. And instead of Batman, because seeing, of course, I saw episode chapter 1 and 2 and episode 1, of course, but episode 2 with the special effects. This guy is really good. Again, I think it's a miss that somebody else did Clayface instead of him, being that he has his, it seems like he's more geared towards horror. 1 and 2 is great, and these 2 episodes so far, cannot complain. But yeah, I think it ramped up from episode 1.
Yeah, I think the storyline as well is just really good as well. It's just really written really well. But to start off this episode, we first have to deal with the ending of episode 1, and we get back into the theater. And Lilly and Ronnie, of course, they see them going, doing the same thing again. There were different angles just a little bit when they did it. Did you see anything different outside of the different angles?
So I know there was a question. You weren't sure if the taller kid, can't remember his name,
Phil,
that was looking at the window with the fake mustache. You weren't sure if he died, and yeah, he did. They showed it again. Yeah. He was kind of right behind, towards the back of the movie theater, next to the seats. He was like in the air. I think he just kind of ripped him apart before the other kid got slammed into the where the projector is, the room where the projector is. So yeah, they all, him, his sister, and the other kid, they bought it.
And we get the season intro for the first time, and they have this 1950 song playing. And let me break this one down for you, Pete, and as quickly as I can. So we get the same the same Paul Bunyan statue that we originally saw in the 2017 It. A girl is staring into the sewer drain, and there's an all too familiar poster of missing child. And I think this is all referencing, of course, Georgie's encounter with it in that first movie. We get the very familiar red bridge where Ben's stomach was carved into. And as they pan out, there's an octopus-like figure with holding a lollipop with its eyes showing. Of course, this is in reference to Pennywise's eyes, obviously. Then we get a kid is getting a lobotomy. Of course, this is now taking us to Juniper Hill, which is, of course, a lobotomy is discredited as any type of brain surgery to treat mental illness. Basically, what it did, it created disconnections in the brain. And we know that this is all due to Lilly being sent there in the past. Also, Henry Bowers was sent there in chapter 2. It's also in other novels by King. We then get a family that's in front of the well house. Now, this is, of course, the scary house that the Losers Club go into to defeat Pennywise. Inside the house, we get Pennywise's eyes as the kid is looking back. Behind the house, it seems like there's a nuclear blast, of course, and this is because the setting of this particular series is during the Cold War. Pete, did you catch during that the Pennywise balloon in the nuclear scene?
Yeah, I was, I was catching Easter eggs here and there while it was, yeah, while the intro was playing. Yeah.
And as they pan out of that, there's more, right? You have the teacher there showing the kids this on a projector. And we know that the projector is where Pete's favorite scary scene for Pennywise in chapter 1. The kids are duck and covering. Again, a reference to how the adults are smiling and the kids they're more naive in this sense, right? And the kids have all the fear. They continue doing this montage of continuously panning out, and none other than holding the camera is Pennywise's hand. Again, referencing the movie theater that we just saw, referencing, of course, the It inside the garage. Next, we get a scene of the Bradley Gang Massacre, which is in the book. And this is part of Derry's history. Did you catch where Pennywise was?
Yes. I mean, again, it's easy to see him. I guess they're the Easter eggs of him where he's showing up in different places in the intro. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he was jumping out the building with the machine gun, which is hilarious to me. And of course, this is going to reflect how we end this particular episode with that particular gang. In the book, the Bradley gang winds up battling the people of Derry, and there's a secret that's going to unfold that we're going to get to. And that shootout was in a mural in 2017 when Ben was sitting down and they were patching him up. They actually showed that mural. Then we get some type of jump of 27 years because we're back at the ironworks accident that Brent had brought up in chapter 1. It was the explosion on Easter that killed 88 children, 102 in total. That's back in 1908. And that's why we get a rabbit in the next image. And all these images come together to say, welcome to Derry. I don't know if they'll continue this intro, but it's different, of course, than the first episode. Now, I'm curious to how they're going to come up with the death of the kids. And Pete, they're trying to blame Ronnie's dad with the cops waiting outside of Ronnie's dad's house. The cop thinks he's responsible. Ronnie's grandma had me cracking up. But what did you think of that when immediately they're going to go blame, of course, the black guy inside of Derry?
Well, they need somebody to they need somebody to pin this on, and like they said like they said in this episode, kids are dead. Their parents want answers. The town wants answers. They gotta pin it on somebody, and he's the logical choice, like you just alluded to, his race, and the fact that it's either him or the kids. So kids can't do this. Kids can't do this. And again, race is definitely, as you saw, how the police chief or the sheriff, whatever he is, was approached in the bar by some of the people from the town, putting pressure on him to, make an arrest, or the next time they threatened him with his job, basically. This needs to happen because, again, like I just said, somebody needs to answer for it. So it's him or the kids, and the logical choice is him.
Yeah, no, it's a tough spot to be in because he said it. There were no, he has an alibi. On top of that, there's no evidence to show that he was even there. Did you catch the chief's last name?
Yes, that is Bowers.
Yeah, so I guess it runs in the family, and that's probably Henry Bowers' grandfather.
Definitely.
So again, a lot of lineage here in the sense between Hanlon and the Bowers family. So you're kind of noticing that. Now let's get back to Hanlon because it takes us back to he's on the stoop waiting for his wife to come through. Now he's moving into Derry. Like he was off the base now. He's in Derry, and it looks like he's trying to connect with his son, Will. And of course, it's kind of sad because this kid, Will, we know, dies in a fire.
Yep.
And that's kind of crazy to think. What do you think, putting that into perspective, that you're meeting this Will guy, but as he gets older, he's going to die in a fire, probably at the hands of Pennywise?
Well, to me, these are things that I like when they do a prequel. They kind of, connect what we already know, and then give some, origin to whatever story that we're seeing in the main movie. So we're seeing a lot of connections with family. Like we just spoke about Bowers and Mike's grandfather. That turned out to be Mike's grandfather, and obviously his son is the one that we found out dies in the fire. So it's pretty cool to see that when it's all kind of linked up. And of course, I still can't get over the fact that Doc from The Shining is there too. That's awesome.
We're going to get into Doc just a little bit. Yeah,
this is just
absolutely.
Checking a lot of boxes for me. It's a good, pretty good show.
Yeah. So Mike's grandfather, Hanlon, starts looking at the files of his attackers, and we were right. We were right. It was a test of his fidelity to the program. So that's kind of crazy to think, but again, not our first rodeo when it comes to people getting tested on their loyalty program. Now, we of course we get back to the kids, and they're into the school. As you come into the school, you see already that there's a curfew in place, of course, because of what happened in the movie theater. And we get, I think her name is Margie, is trying to fit in with the girls. And they actually mention, I think, the boy that she was interested in. And the other girl has a crush on them. And she starts to be mean because she wants to kind of fit in with the other girls. Kind of whack on her part, in my opinion. But, it is what it is. Now, this goes back to what we were discussing, Pete, about, how Derry has infectious, mean people in this town. Do you think that Pennywise has something to do with the way this is all mean? I mean, we get Hanlon's wife seeing the kids get beat up, and she's like, why isn't anybody doing anything? You got Marjorie, who seems like a nice kid, but she wants to fit in, and she starts being mean as well. Again, we have to understand that this is an alien, and there's an infection going on. Do you think that has to do with it, or is she just being a kid and wants to fit in?
I think a little bit of both, because it's not just her. Like you brought up those kids beating up the other kid. I think there's a lot more to it, and I think we'll find out as it goes on. But yeah, this is not just regular kids being bullies or anything like that. There's a lot going on, a lot more going on, where it's kind of like infecting the town.
Absolutely. And we see this, of course, in chapter 2, the gay couple that gets attacked. We see it with Bowers carving his initials into Ben. So
he was on some other type of mean. Right? that kid was like. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah, it's good. It's good. Okay, so now we learned that Masters, the guy that didn't salute Hanlon, has been taken into custody as one of the culprits. And basically, I don't think Hanlon believes it. And he actually goes and brings a gun and a clip to the jail cell. Pete, what'd you think about that scene?
Well, it's one of those, I'll really know if you did it based on the difficulty, like he said, of the type of gun it was. These are really difficult to handle, and if you're able to handle it, I'll know that it was you that did it, because whoever did it was able to handle it without a problem. Of course, the guy failed the test. He said he is a racist piece of shit, but it wasn't him that attacked me. So he did, like you said, you did call that it was a test, them testing him, and it was. But that was cool. That was cool the way he used that gun to kind of confirm his doubts that you're a racist, but I think you're an idiot. You're not able to to reload this the way it needs to be. So that was cool.
The Makarov is one of those handguns that I hate getting out of the box in Call of Duty. I remember that gun because I hated it every time I got it out of the box. So, and that's, of course, we're talking about zombies in Call of Duty when I say this. Hanlon's wife is in town. She is out there shopping. again, we already mentioned it, how she asked the question that everyone's asking is, why is anybody doing anything about this? But Pete, the pharmacist that comes out is the same pharmacist that's in chapter 1 and chapter 2. He's also in the book. His name is Norbert Keene, just to give you guys a heads up. And we get to meet the butcher. Now, real quickly, because I am reading the footnotes to it, this butcher's named Stanley Kirsch. And I mention this because Kirsch is one of the names that it uses. And Pete, the scariest scene in chapter 2 that you mentioned,
yes,
the old lady, her name is Mrs. Kirsch. Yeah, so again, lineage, everything is kind of matching to each other. So I'm curious of how this is going to actually play out. Okay, then we get back to Ronnie, and probably one of the craziest scenes in this episode, Pete. And this director has a thing for childbirth.
Yes.
Because both of those scenes were kind of crazy. Can you tell me what you thought about Pennywise, of course, using Ronnie's mom as a guilt trip and a fear mechanism? That whole scene, I thought she was done. Because at this point, this is like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. Nobody is safe if they're willing to kill the 3 kids off at the beginning of that episode. But did you think that she was done?
No, well, I don't know. I was a little reminiscent of, I don't know. I started thinking of when I'm sorry, her name is skipping my mind. The redheaded girl from the first one, from the movie, Beverly. So when she was in the bathroom and there was all this blood, and when her dad walked in, he didn't see any of it. So I thought it was going to be one of those type of deals. But then afterwards, you see that it wasn't. She was a dream or she was hallucinating. But brutal to bring. I guess now we see what happened to her mom. Her mom is not there because she died giving birth to her, which is crazy. And to use that, like you said, as a guilt trip and a dream was crazy. But the visuals were insane as well. That's why I thought about, wow, this guy would have been perfect for Clayface. But her bed turns into her mom. She comes out the womb. She's still got the umbilical cord attached to her. It's really intense, but they definitely go for that effect in these first 2 episodes. We've seen it with the mutant baby, the mutant flying baby, and then now this. And then there's another one to speak of coming up in this exact episode. But that whole scene, crazy. Again, like you said, he has something about with childbirth. But, man.
Yeah, the umbilical cord pulling her in, the chomping that was going on. And then we get, did you catch Pennywise's eyes inside the whatever? I don't want to say it on this channel.
I'm always looking in the background to see if there's any types of hints of him, because I know he's kind of like, he's almost going to pop. He has the ability to pop up anywhere. So I'm always looking for that. That I'm always looking for to see if I see him. And yeah.
Now, I was reading some reviews, Pete, and they're saying that this is like Hellraiser, and you only get 5 minutes of Pinhead in the same way where they haven't shown the clown yet, and they're not liking this show because of it, because people are watching this because of the red balloon that I have behind me, of course. And are you okay that you're not getting the clown version of Pennywise at this point?
Yeah, it's again, if the story's good enough, then you don't need it. If it's not really essential to the story, I know that it is, but the story's doing fine on its own without him, so I'm okay with it.
Now we get to the bar. We get, of course, Chief Bowers there, and he actually has to show a little bit of racism to the people around them, and he kicks out Howard, Doc, and his friends out. And we never get to kind of see where they go afterwards, but there's probably the black spot, the place where they hang out, where all the African Americans hang out at, to get that moonshine. He said, as long as you can handle that moonshine. But they're walking towards the base. They're pissed drunk. Howard, of course, has to throw his name as a flex. And Pete, you can clearly see how important he is now by being an African male and having that much pull. Did you enjoy that scene right there?
Yeah, he like you said, it was a flex. So all he had to do was drop his name, and they weren't going to let him in because it was after hours. But they did once he made the call and dropped his name. Yeah, they let him in. That was cool. But
Yes.
I'm just want more to see where this is going and see how it links to The Shining. I know that's a ways off, but just the fact that character is crossed over from another story, I love it.
Yeah, I got to catch up on Dreamcatcher because, from my understanding, there's a lot of attachments to Dreamcatcher, which is also something that kind of plays in dreams and things and fear and things of that nature. I don't know that much as of yet, but as a standalone show, am absolutely loving this. Shining is one of my favorite horror movies, and we absolutely know that Howard right now is being used for his shine, psychic abilities, whatever you want to do it. And of course, it seems like they want to weaponize whatever it is that's kind of taken over Derry. But we also have a Native American guy kind of spying on them on the dig site. This, of course, is what Mike was talking about in chapter 2 about how these Native Americans were able to actually defeat it. And I think they kept them subdued. I forget the name of the thing that they were using, but that's probably coming close to it as well. But we get back to school where Margie is making the kids laugh at the table. The other girl tries to get back at her, talk about you wore that sweater yesterday. And Ronnie approaches Lilly. And she is asking what the cops are asking. And she's putting Lilly in a tough situation. And, she tells him, if I say that there was a mutant baby inside of the movie theater, they're sending me back to Juniper Hill. I told them enough to leave your dad alone. I gotta ask you, Pete, if you're sitting where Lilly is at, you've been to Juniper Hill, it's a horrible situation, and your friend or this girl that you know kind of went through the same trauma with you is asking you to say, make sure, where are you leaning on? Are you leaning towards Lilly or are you leaning towards Ronnie?
It's tough because it ended up no one won because what happened was they kind of she's a kid. The cop kind of twisted her words to see to kind of make it seem, because remember we spoke about the pressure he's under to arrest him. So he kind of twisted her testimony kind of to make it seem like she said he was there, and it was all for naught because later on, and I guess we'll get to that too because it was all
you
for
can
naught.
say it. Let's talk about that. Let's stay on that.
She ends up having her own little episode afterwards. Afterwards she ends up going shopping for her mom. Again, we find out about, of course, the dad we already know died. The same way we found out what happened with Veronica, with Ronnie's mother. We know what happened to her dad. He was killed. So she says, "Oh, I'm doing shopping because my mother's working a double," and she ends up having one of her a dream hallucinating or dreaming about her dad. And there's something with the pickles that happened in the first episode they had her locker filled with pickle jars, and then she was in the pickle aisle, and then it just went it went left again. It was kind of her version of what happened to Ronnie in her bedroom, hallucinating with her mom, and this was her hallucinating with her dad. Again, straight up horror, textbook horror scene right here.
Yeah, the visuals were crazy. What's even creepier, I think, were the people staring at her and smiling behind her.
Yeah, of course.
That was crazy. And the way the guy was coming in and out of the aisle, that was crazy.
And he was right behind her at one point, and then just ducked away. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is this." But very similar to when Beverly was in Miss Kirch's house before she transformed. She was walking crazy in the background. This was very similar to that. Yeah. So
yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah, very, very creepy. But again, and I'm not really into this type of shit, but This is a good show. It's a very good show. I can't wait. They released episode 2 on Halloween, and now we gotta wait longer to get the next episode on Sunday.
Man, did you peep the cereal boxes? They had Maddie, Teddy, and on the cornflake boxes.
Yep.
Like the small details are so good in this particular show. I absolutely love it. Okay, so we both agree that the military knows about Pennywise, and they're just trying to kind of capture this.
Yeah, something they know something's up. I guess we'll find out how much they know in the next episode. But yeah,
Pete, and I gotta tell you, this is huge because this is not in the book. They're going off script with this stuff, and now I read The Walking Dead, and I thought I knew The Walking Dead, and there's bits and pieces, but when they went left, it's like, okay, I have no clue what's going on. I'm gonna tell you right now, Pete, I have zero clue what's going on with this. Okay. So, and it's even crazy to me, Pete, that 1960s, right? You have to think that the minorities, Hispanics and blacks, they probably had the biggest fear living in America. And they're finding 2 African Americans to help them out. One, of course, Howard using his shine to kind of figure things out. And the other one, Hanlon, who has no fear at this point in time. It's crazy for me to think that these 2 guys are the guys that's trying to figure this out when they live in a society that doesn't, accept them. That part for me is absolutely crazy. But then, of course, we get back to Juniper Hill, where we see Lilly, like you said, after the supermarket, get taken in, and it's absolutely pointless at this point for her not saying the truth about the mutant baby, because they took her in anyway because Pennywise knew how to play it against her.
But if she says it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you see, she belongs here. Get in there."
Oh, and she's getting the lobotomy, and a nail in through the eye, which sucks if they do that to her. We follow that it's raining in that scene, and they follow the rain, of course, to the dig site where the military is, and Howard and Shine was successful. They were able to find that old car with the dead bodies in it, which is probably, again, as I stated earlier in this show, the Bradley gang that we talked about. So now we have to figure out who buried them, knowing that they went against the whole town of Derry. And again, all of this is fueled by anger, by hate, infection by Pennywise himself. And I guess we're going to have to figure it out till next week to find out, Pete. And listen, guys, thank you again for watching the Nerds Podcast. And come back to see what we discover in episode 3. Pete, take us home.
We will return.
The worst episode ever.